The dialogue movement and the Hizmet was able to bridge the gap between all religions, bring Islam closer to non-Muslims to know the true picture of Islam, to tell them what Islam is. Progress and betterment of humanity for the prosperity of mankind, and also Ustad Fethullah Gülen is a man of honor and integrity. My name is Professor Ibrahim Muhammad from Bayero University, Kano, and currently I am the Director of Quranic Studies, which is being established recently and is the first of its kind in our black Africa. Hizmet, actually, Hizmet is the message of Hizmet, and the mission of Hizmet is to eradicate poverty and also to fight ignorance and illiteracy, and also to fight disease. So education is one aspect of Hizmet, because without education, you cannot develop, you cannot grow, you cannot compete, and you cannot challenge. This, Ustad Fethullah Gülen, he understands this, and he knows this. And that's why emphasis under Hizmet movement is given to education. Because Ustad Efendi Fethullah Gülen, he wants to produce the golden child for this age, for our age, the 21st century, the century of science and technology. So Ustad Fethullah Gülen, he wants to produce somebody that who will be up to the task and challenge of this century. So his own idea is to produce the golden child with golden mind, who will confront these challenges, look into solutions to problems that might emerge from these challenges. So education is the basic of Hizmet, and is the basic where Hizmet is walking about to make sure that they eradicate ignorance and illiteracy among mankind in its totality. And to this, I can tell you that Hizmet have done a lot, and Hizmet have contributed a lot. And not only that, the contribution of Hizmet, it is not only for Hizmet, but it is also for the state of the Turkey. Hizmet have made good services to the state of Turkey, whether they know it or they don't know it, through their educational programs. Because through these educational programs, Hizmet was able to teach people to speak the Turkish language as being their second language. Now, Turkish language is taking over some languages that which we inherited from our colonial masters. So Turkish language now is becoming international in Africa, is becoming international globally. And all this we attribute it to the efforts of Hizmet and to Efendi Fethullah Gülen in educating the Muslim child. And when they educate, and under their educational programs, they don't make any difference or distinguish between this is a Muslim and this is a Christian, or this man is an atheist, or this man is a Jew. Their schools are open for everybody. Because Ustad Fethullah Gülen, his heart is so big that it contains everybody and is open for everybody. His mind is so broad that he brings in everybody and he embraces everybody. So under this program, particularly in my country, in Nigeria here, we do know that before Hizmet, Christians don't send their children to Muslim schools, and Muslims also don't do that. But today, under Hizmet, in the schools of Hizmet, you discover that a Muslim student is sitting beside a Christian student, an atheist sitting between the two. And this actually, if it is to tell you that Ustad Fethullah Gülen, the level of tolerance of Ustad Fethullah Gülen, which is being reflected even in his educational philosophy. So with these schools and the growth of these schools, you can see they started very early, very, very early, just about 10 years ago. But now they have separated all over the world. There are over 160 schools in 100 schools in over 160 countries. But I am going to talk about my own country, Nigeria. In Nigeria here, Hizmet came just about 10, 12 years ago. But with this, if you see what they achieved in terms of success in the field of education, you discover that they have primary schools, they have nursery primary schools, they have junior and secondary schools. Today, alhamdulillah, they have even a university. And these schools, they are not only restricted to a city, but they are separated all over Nigeria. There are about 8 schools. And not only that, Hizmet is trying to incorporate what we call co-education. Co-education in the sense that they are trying to incorporate modern education with Islamic education. This, they have established a school in Yobe, and another school is coming up in Kaduna very soon, where we marry Western education with Islamic education, science education with Islamic education. And this is a great achievement. I congratulate and salute Efendi Fethullah Gülen for achieving this. And we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving him to us, to service us, to render his services to us. We thank everybody who contributes to that. Because without education, you cannot move. Without education, you cannot develop. Without education, you cannot grow. So the growth and development of the Ummah of Islam and Ummah Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is based on education. Interfaith dialogue and the Hizmet have rendered a great service to the stability of mankind and also to the advancement and progress of religion, regardless whether it be in Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, any religion. The dialogue movement and the Hizmet was able to bridge the gap between all religions, bring Islam closer to non-Muslims to know the true picture of Islam, to tell them what Islam is. Through Ufuq, people do know now, understand that Islam is a religion of peace. Islam is a religion of tolerance. Islam is a religion that helps others to progress. Islam is a religion that comes to assist mankind to achieve their desired goals. So it is under dialogue that all this was able to be achieved. So dialogue was able to bring people of different faiths together, to dialogue together, to come into peace, to come into agreement among them, so that with peace you can develop, with peace you can grow. And let me tell you about my own experience as a Nigerian. Before Hizmet and before Ufuq, in Nigeria here, we do have conflict from time to time between the Muslims and the Christians. Because the Muslims don't understand what the Christians are, and the Christians also don't know what the Muslims are. So everybody is walking apart. But when Hizmet came, they brought these two parties together closer. And now with the efforts of Ufuq, the Muslims and the Christians in Nigeria, they are working together for the progress of this nation, and they are working together in order to come to understand and to know one and each other. So this is a great achievement by Hizmet under dialogue in bringing peace and stability to this country of ours, Nigeria, and to all other parts where Ufuq exists and where Ufuq is playing this role. If you are not criticized, it means you do not make success. We welcome criticism, but we welcome constructive criticism. So by criticizing Hizmet, Hizmet has to thank Allah because you have achieved. Otherwise, nobody will criticize you. But the criticism of Hizmet, to my understanding, maybe is out of ignorance. Maybe you don't know their activities. Maybe you don't know the good things that they are doing. So if you know these good things that they are doing, I think this ignorance will be cleared. And also, maybe it's because of an envy. They envy them. Envy in the sense that, why is Hizmet making all this big success? Why not other NGOs? Why not my movement? Why not my group? Why not my people? Why Hizmet? So you can see this is just an envy. There is no any reason, but only just because of it. And also maybe other criticism will come as a result. Just is propaganda or to score some political goals, or we can call it cheap blackmail in order to score some political goals. This, I want to tell my brothers, Hizmet is not a political movement. Has nothing to do with politics. They are away from politics, and they don't love politics. They don't work in politics, and they don't work for politics, but they work for the upliftment of mankind. So for those who want to blackmail the efforts of Hizmet and to bring down Hizmet, I am telling them that Hizmet is all over. Hizmet is in about 160 countries. I don't think that there is no any nation on this earth that have representative in 160 countries, being it diplomatic missions or trade missions or educational attaché or military attachés. In 160 countries, you will never have it. But Hizmet, they have a representation in 160 countries. And this is min fadlillah. So that's why people are envying Hizmet. Why Hizmet? Why not Hizmet? Because Hizmet have sacrificed their life for Allah. Hizmet, they are doing it for the sake of Allah. Allah is everywhere. That's why Hizmet is everywhere. This is the nature of things. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is complete. And you can see Hizmet, they are sincere by telling people, tell us how can we improve. They are not spurious, but they always feel that there is something needed to be done. Because I know Hizmet is always there when the need for Hizmet is there. So Hizmet is there at the right time, at the right place. But yet, I think that it will be good for the movement to establish a school of languages, because Hizmet now is operating globally. It's in about 160 countries. These countries, they have different backgrounds, different cultures, different languages. So let us establish a school for languages where we teach our ambassadors and our missionaries the languages of the countries that we are sending them to. Maybe the basics. This is one. Number two, I would love if Hizmet will create and establish a museum. A museum that will talk and tell us about the history, about the progress and development of Hizmet right from inception to date. So with this museum, people will know more about the activities of Hizmet and where these activities are and who are the targets of these activities and what are these activities. So when we establish a museum, maybe one day, one time, you may not ask somebody, where is Hizmet? Or you may not even bother yourself to ask somebody, what is Hizmet doing here or there? So through this, people will know more about Hizmet, more about the services of Hizmet, more literature about Hizmet. And also, I will suggest that Hizmet to establish centers for empowerment, centers for skill acquisition, so that they teach the people how to go about their day-to-day life. They assist them. If they are farmers, they bring in engineers in agriculture, in irrigation. They teach them. If they are maybe welders or maybe they are mechanics, and so you will have some people who will be teaching people to defend on themselves by themselves.